My friend, we had another request for a Beatles tune on the Oop, so we're going to do Across the Universe. This one, make sure we're in key, high G, C, E, and A. Nice. Okay, so the chords in this song are going to be A major. We're going to have an A7, which means we get rid of the A note and we keep just the C sharp and everything else is open. And A7 sus4 is an interesting chord because we're removing the third, which is that C sharp, which is dominantly what calls for the A7, and we're moving it up to the D. Now you can put your pinky up here to get that C sharp, but it does something weird to it. It just changes it for me. So I just like playing that one straight open. You'll hear it, how it blends with the chords as well when you're singing it, because I do believe you're singing the third. Anywho, the next chord is going to be a D major. People generally play the D major like this, but that really clogs up the second fret and takes away all your fingers. I like to play it with one finger, and then I bend my finger to go whoop for that. If you don't know how to do that, check out these videos. I'm sure somebody will show you how to do that. It helps you to play different chords and use different fingers, okay? What you don't want to do is bar the whole second fret and get that B minor 7 for every one of your Ds. You want to have that A note on there. The other thing is a F sharp minor. We're going to take our first finger and put it on the first fret on the C sharp. We're going to bookend the high G and the E at the second fret to give us an A note and a F sharp, and then our pinky is going to drop out there on the fourth fret on the A string to give us our octave C sharp. Yeah. So a lot of times you'll see music that this is written as a G flat minor. Completely okay. Those are enharmonic chords, meaning same chord, different name. Because when we're talking about music, I wouldn't say things twice. So I wouldn't say C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, G7, C. What happened to B? That B diminished. Oh, the fifth of every chord turned into a dominant. G major 7, G dominant 7 becomes the diminished of that key. Case in point, A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major. So E major, when I move this E past its flat 7th, or its major 7, yuck. That's an E major 7, and then goes down just one more, that's an E dominant 7. So I use that for my G sharp diminished. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp minor, and then here's that E7. G sharp diminished, and then A, ta-da! So, back to the song here. One more chord. G major, and then G minor. Remember, you keep this one super anchored. That's your G note. All you're doing with this movement is making what looks like an F major shape, but a whole setup right here. When we do that, it actually just derives a B flat out of the B natural. Bee-boo! Changing that accidental for you. All right, the feeling on this is going to have a very quick and subtle strum. Make sure you keep that A open on your D. Horrible words. Let me do my best here. Oh, words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across this universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. The thoughts they answer like a tumble across this universe. So a good place to talk about this is D major is our first chord. Our B minor 7 is what I do to lay the whole second fret down, and then I lay down my alternate B. The B minor 7 works really well over the D, 2D, B, 7, and then you can lay down that alternate high B because they're in unison. They're both the same. The G flat minor or the F sharp minor. The easiest way to jump to that is just kind of think of like what a G7 looks like or a B diminished and play that starting with the C sharp. Your fingers will naturally fall into place. You do not need the C sharp over the top because the A is actually within the chord. You're playing it down here. Although I like to put my pinky out in case I'm chucking, that I don't have that one A note. Chucking is a form of playing a little bit of rhythm on the other hand. And then so we don't have that A note when I lift my fingers off to mute that this A is not legato and just keeps going. I want it to be staccato so I can stop that rhythm from moving. Cool, so D, B minor 7 to a B minor. The G flat minor or the F sharp minor 7. No, F sharp minor. And then E minor is what I lead with, and then I throw my pinky down here on the D note to get that 7th, because I've got, in E minor, the only sharp I have is F sharp. So the idea is, I don't even need to care about that. I've got my E minor and I add my D. That really does a number there in adding the 7th for me. I'm gonna come back to, after doing the E there, I'm gonna go to the A major and then play an A7. Distinguishes the chord and then goes down to its 7th. The 7th is actually acting as a lending tone, moving the phrase, but since we're not moving to another key, it holds out that feeling and then resolves back basically to that D again to start the second verse there. Or not the second verse, but the chorus in of itself. The reason why that A7 with the sus4 is super important is because when you're doing a doing a half step down with your vocals and going a half step down here, and it works just so perfectly because they're in tune with each other. It's very heartfelt. Nothing's gonna change my world. Then to the D major, nothing's gonna change my world. A G major to the D major. When it goes for the second verse, it is same as the first. When we get to the end of calls me on across this universe, it holds it just a tiny bit longer than it did the first verse. Okay? That's the only alteration. The whole song is going to go through there. What I like to do if I'm jamming out this tune is I like to get modal with it. So I'll have my my D major, my A7. What I'm seeing there is in D major, you can play your D, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Once you learn this pattern, which I hope you do, and check out the Ionian video out here that I've got on my channel, and any other video for just a standard major key. What you'll notice is the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step rings true no matter where you are. E, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Doesn't matter if you know what the names of the notes are, just as long as your fingies are doing the same pattern. And that's really what music on these stringed instruments is about, recognizing shapes and patterns, okay? So what we're gonna do with this is put a little flair in the end by having fills of these accidentals. So if we have you can add that sus note over the top. So in the key of D, D, E, F sharp, G, D, E, F sharp, G. That is a sus, you guessed it, 4. Now what we have in all these different Beatles songs is beautiful moves of harmony. So if you have an opportunity, sing the chorus and sing the verses as honed in on the root as you possibly can, considering when they start the verse, they're playing a images of bro. See how it's in unison with the D? Not a lot of songs have just the unison right on the get-go at the top. It kind of feels as if the melody's moving with the root and the tonic, which makes for a very interesting tune. Anywho, I really hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed this too. If you played this out and you dig all the explanations, put a thumbs up in the comment section and just, give me a request of what you want to hear as well. Aloha!